what's good, everybody? It's Donovan. I want to say something. What if I told you that 97% of all website visitors usually leave websites that are selling something like this and never buy? Talk about a high yield. 3% of all people coming to your website. Gosh, what if we can get that up to 10% or 20% or 30%? Do you think you can make a living? I do too. So, as a matter of fact, there's gold mines of potential revenue sitting all over the place if you guys will learn a few things called optimization. We want to optimize our funnels, we want to optimize our products in a way that are going to get our sales skyrocketing. All right, you guys, you got to understand the first and foremost thing is identify the transformation from before and after. What is the transformation? What is the after? Everyone say the after. The after is after they've used your product. This is what it did. Okay? Past tense, not future tense, present tense or past tense. The product took me from this situation to this situation. All right, so let's talk about that. Once you identify that core transformation, that's what you sell. That's the basis of all copy, of everything going on for the rest of the duration of whatever your product is. All right. You're not selling better health. You're selling how to lose 20 pounds in 90 days. All right. Transformation. You're not selling a better business. You're selling the outcome, how to add $10,000 monthly reoccurring revenue monthly in 6 months. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So we're creating a transformation. Ta-da! Transformation works. Now, I'm re-recording this portion of the video. I wasn't exactly happy with what came out the other day. So real quick, you guys, the offer and the product. All right. The offer and the product. So the product's it's what you built. It's good. It's good. Leave it alone. Put it down. Don't play with that right now. What we're working on now is the offer. So as we've been talking about this transformation, right, and we've identified this, now we've got to start to put it into an offer. And that's where we just watched that transformation with a headline completely different than lose weight now, right? How to lose 20 pounds in 90 days, whole different thing. If you're selling a health product, you have to understand people want to see that transformation with the skinny waist. That's what they're looking for. That's what they want. That's what you're delivering. So that's what you start to put in that offer. All right. So once they begin to dive into what all they get in order to achieve that, these are not features or benefits. These are going to be bonuses and stacks. All right. And so with a great offer, you want to be able to say, all right, you're also going to get this. You're also going to get that. You're also going to get the other thing. And on top of that, you're going to get a free blah. So as you begin to put together your compelling offer, it's very simple, you guys. You're not just giving them the product. You're giving them the product plus blah, plus blah, plus blah, plus blah. Okay. And so they're getting this amazing offer for the low price of whatever, $20, right? So you provide $2,000 of value, and then you say, but guess what? Today you're going to get this for $19.99 or whatever, right? And that's an exaggeration. If you're selling $2,000 worth of value, you don't want to discount it all the way to $20. That just seems weird. So we're also not trying to put things out that seem weird or overinflate. The value is the value. And if you can provide an offer that people, it just becomes the irresistible offer that they can't say no to it, then you're on the way to something amazing. Okay. And then the other thing that we want to be able to put to make this offer even better is a great guarantee. And so your 30-day standard money back guarantee is awesome. I think more and more I'm seeing less guarantees. And so a good 30-day guarantee is really good. A 60-day guarantee is even better. Some people are only guaranteeing for 14 days, right? It depends on what you can do. And I appreciate the fact that people don't want to guarantee past what they can deliver. And that's important as well. So make sure that whatever your guarantee is inside of your stack, that you can deliver that guarantee. And so if you can layer something on top of your guarantee or your money back, like you will see these results or your money back. So that guarantee becomes important. This is where your product literally has to deliver if the client worked to get it, right? Some people are just never going to put in the elbow grease. Some people are just, they want to throw money at a problem, but they don't actually want to work at the problem. And so, one of the things that I think we have to do in all of this, and this is my bonus to you, is we have to excite and motivate. All right. If you're not exciting, if you don't know how to motivate, if you don't know how to bring about the transformation with your personality or your content or your product, then it starts to break down. And so that's where even like where I noticed that people who deliver great software, people who deliver a great vehicle, and people who deliver, there is an experience tied into that product. And I want you guys to begin to understand that your offer contains that experience as well. All right. Your product does it, but you have to actually begin to put together an experience that people want to hang around, that people want to be present with you. They want to be uh, part of the change. And that's where I think, okay, now watch me. This is going to get crazy. That's where I think that marketing as a whole is changing completely. That the dynamics going into how we do this online and offline business is taking on a whole different dynamic. And with Facebook, um, there was a culture created years ago where people interact and exchange constantly via social channels, right? And that gave way to Instagram, that gave way to Twitter, that gave way to TikTok, that gave way to, and we have all these different online experiences, okay? And people started to say, well, this is where people are hanging out online, so we're going to begin to do social media. And they begin to use these channels, YouTube, to engage their audience. And so that is not going away. We have to figure out where to put our content online, create communication online, right? And begin to show this experience. And so this is going to bring us into our next portion of this segment in this video. And it is going to totally deal with how we handle this customer journey. And that is the front end of a lot of sales funnels. Okay. That's where we're getting traffic. And now we're going to begin to optimize, because we're doing the whole platform in this video, the other elements of our platform based off of the fact that we're doing, that's the top end of that funnel. All right. You guys see the funnel? See the funnel? Yeah. So as we're coming into this traffic area, right? This is crazy. Everyone knows this is a big part of it. Everyone knows traffic is a big deal. All right. So there's not a lot of different avenues for traffic. It's pretty easy. You got to figure out what you're putting out there. You got to go out there. You got to go. I'm sorry, but you got to go. You got to figure out where you're going to go. Are we going to YouTube? Are we going to Facebook? Are we going to LinkedIn? Are we running Google ads? What's going on, right? And so when you figure out what the best place for you to put your free content, right? You're putting out your free content. So just going back to the fitness example, real quick, what is a good headline? Like the 5 reasons that you're not losing weight. There's your freebie. There's your free blog, whatever it is that you're putting out there. Shorts are great, right? Listen, you've got to begin to maximize SEO friendly content, different things to get out there. And once you figure that out and you say, I am going to post regularly, I am going to do this 1 hour a day. This is worth. So if you're a solopreneur or you're just getting started in this space, you got to commit. So if we're doing this, I'm going to say 90 days of 2 hours of every day creating stuff to go out. All right. But now watch this. This is where so that's awareness. We got to get out there. We got to let people know we're here. If they don't know you're here, that's part of the problem. You haven't spent enough time creating content for the masses, going on some social channels, getting out there and getting them back to what? Get them back to the freemium, back to the tripwire. So awareness and then interest. We get them interested in us by giving them a decent piece of free content that fixes their problem. So splinter that off of your big product, and this is your interest. So putting out awareness content and just trying to generate traffic to this interest product or tripwire. Okay, does that make sense? Phase 1 and 2. Phase 1 and phase 2 right there. Awareness and interest. Awareness and interest. Out there, how are we going to do that? And then interest, putting out that free product that helps people start addressing their problem. And I hope this helps. Now, your customer journey gets much bigger and much more intense and detailed than that, okay? And that's where we have to start optimizing. So we're optimizing now the traffic, and then we're making sure that our freemium is correct, right? You might want to try a couple different ones to see which ones are catching and getting people into the funnel. And then after this, you guys, they're going to start to consider whatever you have in the next portion of this funnel, whether it popped up immediately or you start building that relationship. Consideration is crazy. Now they're getting a few emails. They're hanging out. They're on the customer journey. They know who you are. They've looked at your free stuff, and they're actually starting to decide whether or not they want to continue this with you. And so that's where, like I said, I think personally, your product right now has to be a piece of gold. It's got to be pot of gold. And your offer is going to make a big difference as they start to come through this. And what you give next is crazy. So you give another seminar, masterclass, right? You present the stack and they're going to purchase based on that stack. You're going to purchase now. Once you get them into that, you got to understand your product's fine. You're good. You're not freaking out about your product anymore. You are now taking what we did in the first part, that offers coming into play. And this is where you're going to give that to them. You're going to say, listen, here's the offer. Now, here's the thing about an offer. Once you make the offer, you're comfortable. You're good. You don't got to freak out. There's no pressure on them and there's no pressure on you. You put together an irresistible offer. Make sense? You put together a great offer. You don't got to worry about it. Relax. Kick back. You know what I mean? Enjoy your success because it's coming now. You're on your way, and now all we have to do is deliver the product. All right, and that's the last part. Making sure we deliver our product in a way that there's no question that people are going to succeed in whatever it is that you're doing with them. All right. So I hope all of this really helps. And I hope you guys understand the different elements of building out your platform are not as hard as people make it. I do want to say one quick thing. If you're selling something, make sure that people's checkout process is clean, that it's a really clean experience. Don't go through all the work of getting a customer, all right, and then delivering a clunky checkout process that people just run from. I hope that helps. We'll see you guys in the next one.